Japanが恋のラジオ GO!
Hello and konnichiwa from Japan and the second episode of the World Athletics Club. Last time we were in Aarhus for the World Cross Country Championships, and this time we're finding ourselves in Yokohama for the IAAF World Relays. We'll be looking ahead to this weekend's races, taking a look at some of the new additions to the program and talking to some of our guests. Joining me today we have Noah Lyles of the USA.
Heyo.
Morgan Mitchell from Australia. And Andrew Howe from Italy.
Ciao.
Hi guys. Noah,
Yes.
I'll start with you. You guys are the defending champions in the 4x1. Do you feel any pressure defending that title in the 4x1 though?
I mean, there's always going to be some type of pressure, just because everybody wants to be 4x1 champions. But I think that the easiest way to get rid of it is just making sure that you have a good chemistry with your team. And this year I feel that everybody feels like they are in the right place and they can, do the best that they can do in the positions that they've been given.
I know you're really into anime and that kind of culture. Did the fact that the World Relays are in Japan this year help you decide that you really want to compete here?
It was definitely one of the reasons I told my coach I wanted to go. I was like, when I heard they were moving them to Japan, I was like, so coach, are we gonna go? He was like, well, if it makes sense. Well, what makes sense? Because in my head, already being in Japan, it makes sense. But yeah, he said, since we're going to Shanghai, it makes sense to go.
Morgan, have you been to Japan before?
Yes, I have, back in 2015.
What's your memories from that?
We actually didn't get to see a lot because we stayed, I think, more so on the outside of Tokyo, and it was in the lead up to World Champs in 2015, so we didn't get to do too much, so I'm hoping this time we can actually explore post-event.
And Andrew, I recall a certain World Championships here a few years ago.
Yeah.
In
A
Osaka.
long time ago. Yeah. No, it was. I love Japan. I love the food. I love the people. I love just the way they are. I mean, it's such an amazing country. Plus, I'm also a pretty big fan of anime. One Punch Man, Mob Psycho, 100. So, you're not the only one, bro.
So you're going to be strolling out the city in a bit?
Oh, for sure. Especially my brother. He's like, you have to go everywhere, and you have to give me something from like anime or whatever, And so I'm like, okay, for sure. I'll definitely stroll around the city.
So we'll all be going out in the city later today and explore. Back to the actual competition though, the World Relays has always been known for its innovative side, and we've often used it to introduce a few new events. Hurdlers have been campaigning for quite a while to get the hurdles into the World Relays, and this year we're seeing the addition of the mixed shuttle hurdles relay. For those of you who aren't familiar with the event, we've got a little video prepared for you. Okay, so that was quite the explanation there. Morgan, I think you might also have an interest in the shuttle hurdles relay. Why would that be?
There might be this guy. No, my boyfriend Devin's actually competing, and he's super excited. So it'd be good to watch. I don't know who I'm going to go for. I should say Australia, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel on the day.
That's a mixed relay, and I know you've competed in mixed relays before, and you are lining up in the mixed 4x4, I believe.
Yeah.
What makes a mixed relay special compared to running with just fellow women?
I think it's pretty special because you get to kind of mix it with the guys. Obviously they're faster and all that, but it's still just, I don't know, it brings a fun element to the sport, and I think that's what we need. So, yeah, to be honest, I'm looking forward to it, yeah.
And Andrew, we talked about you've won medals in the long jump. We've seen you compete in the 200 meters. Here you're lining up in the 4x4. Is there anything you can't do?
Well, I was thinking about doing the 400 hurdles, but I think that's a little bit too much. But no, it's going to be really interesting. For the first time, I'm going to do the first time was back in 2006 when I did the first 4x4 for my national team. So it's going to be my first World Relays, and I think it's going to be pretty fun.
Noah, you've done the 4x2 before.
Yeah.
Your brother is doing the 4x4. Could you not be tempted to try any other events other than the 4x1?
I mean, I'd love to go back to the 4x2. Maybe one day, me and Jasias will come back and to World Relays, and we'll both do the 4x2 together. Maybe throw Mike Norman and Ry Benjamin on there. That sounds like a winning squad right there.
And we talked a bit here about moving out of your comfort zone, like you saying, you're trying new things. You're really into arts, you're into music production, all those kind of things. Out of the things that you do outside of the sport, which one do you feel challenges you the most?
Oh, gosh. They all kind of challenge me really hard. With art, I'm challenged to try new things. So it's easy to get stuck on, say, if you're good at drawing trees. It's easy to get stuck drawing trees, but not everybody wants to see you draw trees. You know, you can only draw so many trees. So you got to push your way out of that. I've recently taken up music, so now instead of just trying to make lyrics, I'm now trying to start making the instrumentals to go with it, because you want it to feel the way, you want the instrumental to match the lyrics that you're putting out. And with Legos, you're tempted to go and build your own creation instead of going with the exact instructions. So each one, they push me in all different ways, which I guess is why I like all my hobbies so much.
And Andrew, we talked about music here. I know you said you also play the drums, but something that I've only recently found out is that you trialed yourself on the Italian version of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
How does that compare to track and field?
Unfortunately, I had to do that, but it was a it was a weird part of my life. I was going through some issues, and I was like, well, you know what, might as well go ahead and try it. But it was okay. It was fun. You know, I had fun. I learned some new moves and new things that I'm never probably going to use, but it's okay.
I gotta see these moves now.
Now, another event that will bring people out of their comfort zone is another new edition, the 2x2 by 400 meters. It's a recovery relay, and again, for those of you who aren't familiar with the concept of the event, we've got a video prepared. looks like it could be quite a fun event. Morgan, you've recently made the transition from the 400 to the 800 meters. If you look at an event like the 2x2 by 400 meters, where you're running 400 meters, then you'll probably have about a 50-second gap and then you have to run it again.
Yeah.
How do you approach something like that, do you think?
Kind of glad I'm not running it for obvious reasons. No, I think you've just got to go out and treat it like an 8, personally. We do a lot of split 8 work anyway, so it's like, you know, go out as you would in the first 8, maybe a little bit quicker, and then just pray on the second lap, because no one really knows what you're going to feel. Like, you don't know if your partner's going to come through in 48 or 52, or if they're going to take their time in a minute. So it'll be quite interesting to see what each team does, because I think it's anyone's game, really.
And you've competed in World Relays before.
Yeah.
What do you think makes the event so special?
It's just fun. I don't know. It's the fact that everyone comes together. It's a different event. It's new. They always chop and change events. So we've got like the 2x2, this a 2x2x4, or the shuttle hurdles relay. And I think it just gives everyone an opportunity to get around the sport and, you know, try new things. So I don't know. I think that's what makes it special. Yeah.
Noah, we're sitting in the stadium where you guys will be lining up this weekend. For those people that aren't that familiar with different tracks and the impacts that they have on you, what are you making of the stadium?
I haven't really got to run on it yet, so it's mostly just going off of visual. So far, I'm seeing that automatically the stage is huge. Like, I'm looking at the screen, and the screen is humongous, but it looks small compared to how big the stadium is, so that's always exciting. I'm looking at the intro to where everybody's going to be coming out. I've already told my team, hey, you know, we got to have our intro on point. We can't be coming out here and looking all, you know, confused and everything. And so far, the track, it looks like a good track, you know.
You talk about there having your intro on point. Now, the US has won 17 gold medals at World Relays over the years. We know the hosts, the Japanese, are very clinical in their approach to the exchanges and so forth. How much work have you guys actually done in terms of practicing your baton exchanges?
So now you're just trying to figure out all our secrets. Is that what's going on here? Well, U.S. is known for having a lot of talent, so unfortunately we only get to practice when the team is confirmed, you know, so it's usually only about maybe 4 to 5 days that we actually get to come together. But we try to make the most happen in those 4 to 5 days.
Earlier, we had a look at how the 2x2 by 400 meter relay works, and we spoke to one of Noah's teammates, Donovan Brazier, who's going to be lining up in the relay along with Ciara Brown, and he told us his approach for the race this weekend.
I really want to do the 2x2x4 World Relays because I haven't ran World Relays yet, and it's been in the Bahamas the past 3 times I think they did it. So I was just really trying to find an event I could do, and this year for an 800 meter runner, that was really the only thing that I could do. But I know it's gonna be painful because I think people are gonna run it too fast, and I've actually been doing workouts set for that relay, so I'm hoping that that'll kind of pay off. I think you run it just like an 800 meter. I honestly think it's more painful to stop and have a 50-second rest with your partner, you know, rather than just keep going, because then you have time for lactic to catch up with you. I mean, track's always an individualized sport, so it's always fun to get on a relay. It's kind of less pressure. So if you do kind of mess up, it's kind of like, you know, on the whole team or the whole squad. So I think knowing that you have another partner to rely on and knowing that they are relying on you as well, it kind of makes you want to do better for the both of you guys instead of just kind of just yourself. I think the best tactical way to run the race is to start off with a woman, go guy, or girl guy, girl guy. Just because I think every other country is going to do that, and you don't want to kind of give up that gap or give up that lead.
Now, given we've looked at the new additions that we have to the program this year, if you look across the board, if you could choose any relay to run in, which one would you go for?
Definitely the mixed 4x4. I like that one. I think that's the most interesting one because give it the chance, you know, to run also with the girls, and I think it's really cool, you know. And I think also that's pretty much the future for what I think. So I'm really excited, and I hope to run it actually, probably.
Morgan, with these kinds of events, we said there's always a chance to trial out new things. If you could dream up any new event for World Relays, could you think of anything?
In my opinion, it'd actually be cool to see a field relay. I mean, you've got 4 disciplines for the jumps and the throws, so I'd love to jump in like the pole vault or something. I would suck and we wouldn't win. But yeah, I reckon that would be cool. Field event relays, I think, need to make a comeback, for sure.
Wait, they've had them before?
Oh, well, in Australia we've had a few, yeah. You just add the points up, yeah. Come on, guys. Are you an artist, like creative?
I've never heard of that.
Really? Oh, yeah, it's a thing.
Okay, we'll continue that conversation once we've finished here. That's all we've got time for today. And we will see you all this weekend. Please do join us live on all IAAF platforms, IAAF.org, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and do join the conversation using the hashtag World Athletics Club. Thank you and see you this weekend.